Let us start. We're only on chapter 136, page 164. A very, very deep chapter of Chassidut, of Kabbalah. And it couldn't be a better way than to start it off with what the Rebbe, the Lubavitch Rebbe, says today in the day-to-day, the Yom Yom, that he writes every day something, some kind of Hasidic concept to live by. So the Rebbe writes today in the Yom Yom, Chabad Chassidus, Tanya is the written law, so to say, of Chabad Chassidus, opens the gates of the halls of Chachma Bina. It opens the gates of the wisdom and understanding, enabling one to know and recognize, which is with an intellectual grasp. And what are we trying to grasp? What are we trying to get intellectually? The one who spoke and the world came into being. Pretty big stuff. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to grab that. It arouses corresponding feelings in the heart that spring from the practical, godly concepts that one has understood. So you have to understand it. Moreover, it guides every individual according to their own level, to his own level, along the path of which he can draw near to holiness, enabling him to serve God with his mind and his heart. So that's what you came to learn tonight, okay? That's what you came to learn. Okay. To open your mind, to listen and to hear words maybe you're not used to hearing, and maybe not used to learning even. And the point is to have an open heart, have an open mind. If you have an open mind, then you can have an open heart. We know that one of the basic principles of Chassidus is mind over matter, mind over heart. And the Eibishter made a human being, God made a human being that he's intellectual and that he can rationalize and understand and comprehend. And even things that he cannot comprehend, he can comprehend that he cannot comprehend it. Not everything has to be comprehensible, and not everything has to be understood. Most of us are happily married and we don't understand each other. It's not the end of the world. And there's not a need to be. It needs to be always a secret. People love secrets. You write a book, The Secret, and everybody buys it. Why? Because everybody wants the secret. I mean, they read the book and there's no secrets. So we'll buy the next book, The Secret. The real secret. The ultimate secret. And that's the way people are. We're always looking for something new. We're bored or something for some reason. So that's the spice of marriage. Keep it a secret. It has to be always a secret. What are you going to come up next? Right? Keeps the happy marriage going. The Kotzker Rebbe once said, there was a great rabbi, he said, the God that I know is a God I don't want. I don't have to know God, because then I'm him. So I want a God that I have to search. I need to search, constantly search. King Zalman, who is the wisest of all men, said, "Achakma, I have received knowledge. I realize how far I am from knowledge, from wisdom. So I need to always constantly search wisdom, and there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't seem to say you're not smart. That's the opposite. A person that's always in a search of wisdom is a smart person. So we're going to open our minds over here today to we started already a while ago to secrets, but the Alter Rebbe reveals these secrets, so they're not secrets anymore. And very deep concepts in Chassidus, in Kabbalah and Chassidut. Because Alter Rebbe starts the chapter with the meaning and the purpose of creation, which the world has been searching for thousands of years. What is the purpose of creation? And he brings down a statement of the Medrash, which the Medrash says that the Tachlis B'Yas Ha'olam, the whole purpose of the creation of the world, was in Sava Kodesh Baruch Hu Liyas Le'dira B'Tachtonim. Something that each and every one of us needs to internalize those couple of words. Shenesava HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God had a desire. Lias leidira b'tachteinim, to have a dwelling place in this world, b'tachteinim, in the lowest levels of this world, of creation. We all know, Chassidus says there are 4 worlds. There's the Olam Atzilus, there's the world of emanation, there's the world of Bria, the world of creation, there's the world of formation, and there's the world of Asiyah, this world, the world, the physical world that we live in. We are the lowest world, physicality, which is opposite in many ways of spirituality. Godliness, it's something that we'll never comprehend. As much as we'll understand and we can learn, it's still out there. It's still something that we need to search. It's not like a physical thing that has a time and a space and we finalize it and we come to a conclusion. You cannot come to a conclusion to a spiritual concept, my friends. There's no graduation from the spiritual concept, and it's never ending. So you start when you're born. The sages say, when a child starts to talk, the first thing you teach him, you teach him that the Torah was given for Moshe Rabbeinu. You start off his education and speech, that he should start to say words of Torah, and hopefully it will be on his lips till the day he dies. And that will be never ending. And it will continue to grow with him. Of course, it's a spiritual concept. So we can never box it in a box. Why? Because the Torah comes from God, which God cannot be put into a box. Meaning that even though God ultimately comes down to a physical, into a box, but at the same moment, God is above any comprehension of putting him into time or a concept of space. And that's why there are many names to God. We give him many names, many titles. But really the ultimate title we give God is Atzmus, which is essence. Which is what do you, when you say that this is the essence, meaning that this is something that's above, I cannot give it a definition. It's just the essence, it just is. God is. I am who I am. Or the first commandment, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am God your God. I am Anochi. Ani. First commandment, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am God your God.
You mean when Moshe was at the bush?
Anochi Hashem is the first commandment in the 10 Commandments. I am God your God is the first commandment in the 10 Commandments, right? No, I said Anochi Hashem Elokecha. I am God. I am God. Anochi. I am God. Your God is the first of the 10 Commandments. Anochi. The word Anochi. I. Anochi. You say it in a different way every day, many times. You're supposed to say it 100 times. Baruch Ata. Blessed are you. You. Who is you? Baruch Ata. Blessed are you. In everything that you do. Whether you eat food, you do a mitzvah, you're trying to reach, trying to connect, you realize that there is a concept of godliness that's above any kind of definition, any kind of name. Ata, you. Anechi, I. So God says I, we say you. Baruch Ata, blessed are you. And then we could continue, Hashem, Elokeinu, 2 names of God. Melech, the way God comes into the world. But the first is Ata, blessed are you. Baruch, Baruch, what means Baruch? Baruch is blessed. But Baruch also means Bricha, which is a bridge. Baruch, the blessing, is a concept. When you say you bless somebody, I can bless you. God tells Abraham, God tells Abraham, I'm giving over the power of blessing to you. I'm going to give over the power, the capability of blessing to you. Meaning to you, man, you could also bless somebody. You should bless somebody. Just like why should you bless somebody? Because you have the capability of being the bridge between the energy of that blessing and the person you're blessing. So if we each and every one of us really meant it seriously in the blessing, then it would ultimately happen. That's why we go to a righteous man, because we know a righteous man has no, any kind of strings attached. When he loves the person that he wants to bless, he cares about every human being, and therefore when he blesses, he does it out of purity. Most of us, okay, we'll talk about the positive, we should do the same thing. We should do it out of the goodness of our heart. We have all the power of blessing, just like we have the power of cursing, God forbid. Because we have the capability to be the bricha, to be the bridge of goodness, and chas v'shalom, to be the opposite. And my father once told me, I was walking with him from shul, and that's what he used to, on Shabbos, he used to had the chance to give me always a little bit of, I don't want to lesson, put it in a positive way, rebuke, I don't want to say rebuke, but a blessing. He said, I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story. He said that there was once a person that was extremely, he told me it's a medrash. I want to tell you a story that there was once a person that was extremely ill. And the Rabbi in the synagogue decided that he's going to make a mishaberach. He's going to, at the synagogue, he's going to make a mishaberach, the one who blesses our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He shall bless this person who's sick, right? We do that on Shabbos or during the week by the Torah. And so it became a tumult. It became a tumult, it became a big to-do in heaven. The angels were wondering, what should we do? Should we take this blessing up to the right place? Because in essence, in heaven, the decree is the person to be sick, and here the Jews, humans, are coming together to give this person a blessing. So the decision of the angels was they're going to see how the people give the blessing and how the people in the shul respond to the blessing. If everybody is talking and nobody really cares, and everybody is just doing, it's just one big market. So that means the people really don't care. They're giving a blessing, but not they really care about the person that is there. They are saying the blessing for. Not they really care that the blessing should be affected. They're just giving a blessing. They're just going through the motions. And we'll make that decision. If everybody in the shul is concentrated on the blessing and they all answer Amen and they all care for the person and they all wish him well, we'll take the blessing and we'll make the connection. If not, we'll leave it the way it is. So that was the lesson. You can see that it affected me because I remember it till today, and that was an important lesson in life. And self-understood. I was talking while they were making the mishaberach, so that was the lesson of the day. So it's true, because we need to be a bricha. We need to be we have, that's the inyan of baruch. The blessing is that we can connect the concepts. We can connect the upper world and the lower world. We have the capability. That is the obligation of a human being, to be able to take the spiritual and bring it into the physical. And that's why we're humans, because we have two concepts within us. We have action and we have intellect. We have physicality and we have spirituality. It's not there to be separate. If it was to be separate, then there would be in separate times in our lives. It's not separate times in our lives. We're here in the world, and from the day we were born until we pass on, we are here together as one package deal. And that's the package that we deal with. And that's what we need to do. So if we live a spiritual life sometimes and a physical life sometimes, they don't integrate with each other, then there's a mismatch over here. There's there's a broken link. And that's not what needs to be done. We need to have b'chol derachecha do'eyu. The verse says, in all your ways in life, you have to find a spiritual concept within it, a spiritual purpose within why you're doing the physical concept, whatever it might be, whatever your profession might be. Can't all be rabbis. We wouldn't survive. We need to have other people. We need to have business people. We need to have, everybody needs to take their talent. If everybody be rabbis, what we'll do? It'll be crazy. A couple weeks ago, I went together with 5,000 rabbis. Forget it. Who are you? You're nobody. So everybody needs to bring the talent, and that's why God wants you should meet other people, and together we create a beautiful reality. We create a beautiful concept. And why? Because we all bring the physical and the spiritual together. We have that capability, we have that, and that's our purpose. That's our purpose. B'chol dorachecha, I say a verse, B'chol dorachecha de'eyu, in all your ways you shall find God, meaning in all your ways you shall find the purpose of God in what you're doing. Chol masecha yiyeh l'shem shamayim, and all your actions should try to be for the sake of heaven. Meaning again, this should be for the aspect of some aspect of purpose in life. We're not animals, we're human beings. And human beings need to find some purpose in life, or else they'll have a very empty life. Yeah.
When Mashiach comes, we're supposed to, the only profession is going to be studying Torah?
No.
Something like, I heard something to that effect.
Maybe you're hoping for that, but no. Lav dafka, I don't know.
Did you hear anything like that, or maybe I'm wrong?
It says Yilkon Chachamim. Everybody will be have great wisdom and understand the Torah. But who says that everybody will be doing the same? If everybody sit and learn, it'll be a very boring existence.
Something about just to know God or something, I don't know, something like that.
We'll know God. Everybody will.
Well, still got to pay rent.
We'll still have taxes.
There were great sages in the Talmud that were called different names. Rabbi Yochanan Sandler, one was a great sage, Rabbi Yochanan, a Tanya, who used to make shoes. Having a profession is not a bad thing. It's not a terrible thing. It's a positive thing. And it's a good thing. The Gemara says if you take a diamond dealer and a diamond cutter and you ask him to bake bread, even though baking bread is a very important thing and everybody needs bread, but for a diamond dealer to bake bread is a terrible thing because he needs to cut diamonds, and that would be a waste of his talent. And and the bread breaker should be the bread breaker. So we need everybody. We need the garbage man too, because without him you couldn't survive either. So even though you think it's a very unpleasant profession, but it's a very important thing to do. The story of the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov once came to a city, and he was told that the chazan of the city, they hired a chazan before Yom Tov, and then they realized that the chazan, they didn't like the chazan. Why? Because they said that the chazan, when it comes to Al-Chet, or comes to the Al-Chet in Yom Kippur, the Shamnu, he sings it like in a song. Like he makes it a song. Like, and they said, that's not right. We're crying our sins, and this guy's turning it into a musical event, and this is not the way it's done. And it's a terrible thing. And why would he do that? But they made it, whatever. They stuck with him. So now, but they're unhappy. Maybe the Baal Shem Tov can speak to him and tell him to tone down his song when it comes to sinning, So Baal Shem Tov called this young man in and said, "Why are you singing? When why you have a tune when you're saying a shamnu, and Al-Chet, you have this tune and you should be crying maybe. Why are you singing?" He said, I don't know. I said, I learned I'm a chazan from my father was a chazan, my grandfather was a chazan. And an analogy was given to me that we're all in the king's palace. We're all doing something in the king's palace. This world is the king's palace. Some of us are ministers. Some of us are knackers. Some of us we clean the palace. Some of us are cleaners. We're cleaners. I feel like I'm a cleaner in the king's palace. So you think, as a cleaner, you should feel you're nobody. You should feel depressed. You should go around crying a whole day. But actually, I think that you should be happy cleaning the king's palace. You should be happy that you have a schus, that you have the merit to make this palace beautiful. And without you cleaning the king's palace, all these ministers and the king himself would be living in a pigsty. So this actually helps the king a lot. And I feel that that's the concept. We go to God, and what are we asking God? To forgive our sin. We're cleaning the king's palace. We're getting rid of our avedas. We're getting rid of our sins. That's what we're cleaning the king's palace. We should do it in a depressing way, or should we do it in a happy way? We could clean the palace. We can get rid of our negativity. Look at that. That's an amazing thing. So that's why I sing. Baal Shem Tov accepted his analogy and told the community, you have a great chazan. Because he understood that you have a chazan that understands the purpose of prayer. He's not just praying. He understands the purpose of his prayers. And the purpose of his prayers was to give you a feeling even in the aspect of a sin, that you're doing something positive by by getting rid of these sins and by trying to clean these sins. So too, in essence, whatever you're on the totem pole, whatever you feel like, I don't know, everybody has a different feeling like he has. Everybody wants to be somebody else in general. That's always, everybody wants to be somebody else. What do I have to be? Why do I have to be the rabbi? I want to be somebody else. I want to be somebody else. Why do you have to be? You want to be the rabbi, Mr. Rabbi? I don't know what you guys want to be, but everybody wants to be somebody else. That's why the Mishnah says, who is a happy man? Who's happy with his lot? Who realizes that God put him in the world, and He gave him this and this purpose, and he shouldn't want to do somebody else's job. He shouldn't want to be somebody else. He should be who he came to the world, because he has the capability, who he is, to do what he's supposed to do. He was once a very big, wealthy Jew from California who went by the Rabbi. His name was Rabbi Weiss, blessed memory. And he told it, and this was a big businessman who loved to learn. He actually was a lover of learning. And he loved to study. And went by the Rabbi, told the Rabbi, I'm jealous of you. You can study all day, and I have to go to work. So the Rebbe said, I am actually just the opposite. The Rebbe said, the truth is, I know God, and you have the capability of seeing God. And in essence, by going out to the world and seeing the Eibishter in the physical, be able to bring you into your job, into the physical, because knowledge is unlimited. So you cannot ultimately see it. You can know it, you can understand it. You cannot see it because it's based only on your knowledge. Chassidus tells you, as you're going to soon see in a moment, that Chassidus and Kabbalah tells you is that since the physical, every person can do the physical act, that's where you're going to find the essence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's where you're going to find the essence of God. Is by each and every one of us doing in our own capacity, doing that mitzvah, doing that good deed. My friends, we're all going to do a mitzvah. We're all doing a mitzvah. We all do a mitzvah, whether it's doing a favor to somebody, giving charity, lighting Shabbos candles, putting on tefillin. We all do mitzvot, but we all do it differently. We all do it differently. We might do the same mitzvah, but we come with a different kind of a way. We come in a different kind of a feeling. We bring our own character to the mitzvah. And that's the beauty of the mitzvah. Is that the mitzvah is not there to change you, is there just to enhance you, to be able to, you don't lose yourself in the mitzvah. The mitzvah is a godly concept, and you are who you are. And that's the beauty. Yiddishkeit doesn't want you should lose your identity. It's one of the beautiful concepts of Judaism, is not to lose your identity. You don't have to be part of a group, and now the group overtakes you. Right? Now you're part of a group, That's what the Rebbe was against. I'm a conservative Jew. I'm a reform. What do you mean? The group took you over. What does that mean? I'm an Orthodox Jew. You're a Jew. There's no group that can take a Jew over. There's no label that can label a Jew. If you understand what a Jew is, who's a godly soul, it's unlabelable. I'm coming up with new English words. You cannot put a label to it. You can't. You can't. That's like God, you can't put a label to. You can't put a label to a Jew. You cannot put a label to a human. Can't put a definition to him. He's a godly entity. How can you label it? That means that you take the group becomes more powerful than the individual. And that's not what God wanted. God wanted that there should be a group, self-necessary, but each individual is important as the group.
When is it allowed to desire to be something you're not?
What?
When is it allowed to desire to be something that you are not? Like you want to go to university to become something, or you want to convert to be something you're not. When is it?
You cannot be what you're not.
To be something that
You cannot be what you're not. And therefore in Judaism you cannot convert. I just said a statement. That's to shock you a little bit. Because a non-Jew cannot become a Jew. A Jew cannot become a non-Jew. A non-Jew that becomes a Jew was always a Jew. Just took him time, or her time, to reveal that concept. It says, it's not my statement, it's a Gemara statement. In the Torah it says, Gershon is Gayer, a convert that will convert. It doesn't say a non-Jew that will convert. The Torah says a convert that will convert. That means before you converted was a convert, and after you converted is the same convert. A goy cannot convert. A non-Jew can. It doesn't make him bad or good. It's what he is, and it is what you are. You are who you are, and God wanted you to be. In essence, when God wanted goyim to be goyim. You don't want goyim to be yidden. You want the yidden to be goyim. A non-Jew cannot convert.
Aren't you saying contradictory?
I love to say contradictory statements, just to keep you on your toes.
Even though we were born into a non-Jewish family, our souls were always Jewish.
Right? So a man cannot become a woman. A woman cannot become a man. You can play around, you can have fun, but you cannot do it. You just can't. You can do whatever you want. So, but you cannot do it. And the truth is, the Eibusher can give a person a challenge to feel that he's something that he's not. There's nothing wrong that there is those challenges in life, because the truth is we always want to be something else. So therefore we make a bracha shlo yasani isha, because maybe we all want to be women, and so too a woman wants to be a man. So he makes a bracha that God made me in His will, in her will, in His will, in the way He willed it. So we make that bracha. We make a bracha shlo yasani goy, shlo yasani ovid, shlo yasani isha. So a man makes those bracha. A woman makes the shani k'ritzaynai, that God made her in His will, and that's the way God wanted it. Why do we make that bracha? Because maybe we could have the challenge, and we see that in the world today, that we could have a challenge to want to be something else. So we all want to be an eved in many ways. What's an eved? An eved is a slave. A slave is always needy. That's a slave. We have a slave mentality. We're needy people. Somebody got to take care of us. We seemingly have no capacity on ourselves to do anything. That's a slave. A slave is a slave. The master is obligated to him always. Truthfully, we say to God, we are your slaves. That sounds like you slave? Yeah, that's the point. We're your slaves. I want to be a slave. You take care of me. That's the obligation. I am obligated to serve you. You're obligated to take care of me. I'm not going to serve you if you're not going to take care of me. I'm going to serve you and starve. So can I go find myself a different master? I'm serving you to take care of me. I'm not saying a shocking statement. Jacob said that a week ago. If God gives me bread, food to eat, and clothes to wear, and a house to live in, I'll serve the Eibishter. That's a great service. You know, today we want more than just. We want a bank account. We want to have. We want to have a little bit more than just bread to eat, and clothes to wear in a house. We want to live in Woodford Country Club, so it's a little bit more expensive. It's a little bit more. So you have to be a bigger servant. Yeah, work harder, be a bigger servant. Maybe God will give you a raise. So you'll get a raise. He'll like you better. So no, but that's we all want to be slaves, and that's what we say. Baruch atah Hashem shelo yasani of it. God, tough luck. He didn't make you a slave. He gave you your freedom. You have your free choice. God gave us each one our free choice. You got to use it out. Don't blame it on somebody else. Don't become the victim. You're not a victim. You're victimizing yourself. Nobody's making you the victim. You gotta get out of your victim. You're a victim. You're victim. You're slave mentality.
Yeah, but what if you have a mental illness and some people, is that a different?
Yeah, we're not talking about a mental illness. We're talking about a self-mental illness. When God gives you a challenge of a mental illness, you have to have other people have to have rachmanis and help you, and make sure to be there for you. You know, we're not talking about that. We're talking about where people create their own mental illness. Yes. We don't have to be, we have our own mental illness. We all bring ourselves our own tzaras. Why? Because we think that we are, again, we're either slaves or we're a shleasani goy. We don't have a godly soul. We don't have unlimited capacities. Or shleasani isha, we want to be something else in general. We want to be somebody else in general. And we got to stop doing that. We have to realize that it's up to us. It's up to each and every one of it's up to each and every one of us. So you cannot say I can't go through life and say somebody else is going to do it. You cannot do that. It's not the way to live one's life. You need to live your life and realize that every individual is important. Everybody on this table is important, whoever status or where you came from or where you're coming from. In Judaism, it's not according to the age you're on your passport. Judaism has nothing to do with the age. It has to do with whenever you're there. Whenever you come to it. That's when it's important. So, let's go back to this. I'm going to introduce you, the Alter Rebbe introduced you to a very Kabbalistic word and a concept. It's called Hishtalshlus. Remember, I mentioned it last week. Hishtalshlus. Hishtalshlus. You got that? Seder Hishtalshlus. Seder, the order of Hishtalshlus, or the order of the chain effect. Am I saying this right? The chain effect. Seder Hishtalshlus, the order of the chain of where something comes down from the upper to the lower. In a spiritual concept, something comes down or goes up from the upper to the lower. God, in essence, before the creation of the world and even after the creation of the world, God is an infinite content. It's an essence content. It's atzmos. It's non-defined. But the world would not be here if God didn't create time and space. The world would not be here. If God would not have the do the concept of time and space, creating an aspect where there is a box, then we would not be in existence. And God wanted us to be in existence. So therefore he needed to create Bereshis bara Elokim hashamayim v'ha'aretz. The Eibishter God needed to create time and space. When you have time and space, automatically you have the past, the present, and the future. Because that's the concept of time. So the past is the past, The present is, the future is unknown. And that's all you have is the present. So there is a time, right? There's a time for everything. Even King Solomon says there's a time for happiness, there's a time for sadness, there's a time for joy, there's a time for everything. Because time demands that. Time forces upon us that. And it gives us the aspect of what time is. We realize the most important thing in our life is time. Time. It's something that you cannot stop and you cannot bring back. So we live in time. It's an unbelievable thing, time itself. We live in time, and the truth is we have no power over time. We have no power over time. We have no power. We live totally in the concept of time, and we have no power over it. The clock keeps on running. And by the time we wake up, life could be done. Life is over. By the time we wake up, it's over. And we didn't accomplish half of the things we should have accomplished. Because we have no power over this time. It's so limiting. The Rebbe says the world says time is money. I say time is life. King Solomon says, people, I don't understand humanity. They're always wondering about money. Money comes and money goes. But time is lost forever. You lose your time, you lost your time. That's it. It's not going to come back. You cannot bring back the past.
Not in this world.
I'm talking this world. You're living in this world. I'm not living in another world. I'm living right here.
I'm talking after Mashiach.
I'm not worried about Mashiach. I'm right now. Right now, you are stuck in time. And we need to evaluate time. And we need to make sure to use time correctly. Because we cannot bring it back. We cannot bring it back. So therefore, if somebody approaches you to do a good deed, do it. Because you cannot bring it back. Can't. You cannot bring it back. Because maybe that was the time that the deed needed to be done. So maybe you can do it tomorrow. But you missed the time. You missed the boat. And it's something you cannot bring back. It's a very unbelievable thing, the concept, this aspect of time. That's why it says Avram Avinu, and it says Abraham, one of the greatness of Abraham and Sarah is they came with their days, the Pasuk says. And the sages say they came with their time. Abraham didn't live, he lived a long life, Kenai Nahara. And Sarah lived a long life, 127 years Sarah lived, and Abraham lived over 180 years. These people lived a long life, Baruch Hashem. But every moment was precious. Every moment was precious. They didn't waste their time. I heard a guy express himself this past week, because mostly he talk about Abraham, the Lubavitcher Rebbe. We lived with the Lubavitcher Rebbe. I lived with the Lubavitcher Rebbe my whole life. And you don't realize. So the guy expressed himself last week. I heard him saying, the Rebbe, you think about it, had a boring life. Most of his life, he only went to 4 places. He lived in 4 places. No jokes. One his house, to 770, to the mikveh, and the oihel. That was the 4 places the man did live in these 4 places. Every day of his life was his house in 770, and the other 2 places was when he went to the ohel, he went to the mikveh. Those are the 4 places the person went his whole life. Think about it. Every single day. Forget about the spiritual concept of it. Think about it in a physical way. Could you do that? Day after day, year after year. You know what I mean? To go to 2, 3 places. Not to go anywhere else. Just to go to 3 places, 4 places.
His mother.
His mother passed away in Tov Shechafei, 1965. Okay, so till 1965, there was a fourth place. There was a fifth place. His mother lived on the 5 places. I apologize. But for 1965 till 1992, 4 places. Never went anywhere else. Not to actually he went. I'm sorry. He went to Pesach. He went to two Machana and Torah. So 3 other places on Pesach. He went to go to a Seder, to visit a Seder for 5 minutes at 3 other places. Okay, that's right. So I'm sorry. Pesach went to another place. Wow, it was a break out of his routine. He was in 770 and Machana was there. Okay, whatever. It's truly amazing. Now, okay, we're not the Lubavitcher Rebbe. And
those places while he was in those places.
I'm talking physical. I'm not talking spiritually. I'm not going to the spiritual. 4 places. I want anybody to try it out for a week. To go to only 4 places and that's it. Nothing else. Well, you had to get from one place to the other place. You had a car. 4, 6 places. It's truly amazing. It's truly an aspect. I'm not talking about 1 year. I'm talking about 1960 to 1990. For 30 years, lived, went. I begged him to go for vacation, to go to the country, to go and take a break, take a vacation. Never did it. Not winter, not summer, not spring, not anything. This is what he did his life every day. He was in 770 every day, 8:30. Was there till sometimes till 4 o'clock in the morning. Went home, was back at 8:30. This was a man that was so focused in life that it's unbelievable. We didn't realize that a person can be so focused in what his purpose in life like that. It's truly amazing. And it is.
I think it's even more amazing. He's in such little places, yet we're here right now studying about it in Boca, and there's Chabad all around the entire world.
Right. For that small little place. So one little place. Because you know why? Because the Rebbe was focused. The Rebbe was a focused man. Every moment by him was important. When they told him to go on vacation, he says, I don't have the time. Simply don't have the time. The Rebbe once said, even after his heart attack, they asked him to go away for 2 weeks. That's it, take a break for 2 weeks. He says, every day comes in here 300 letters every day. So in 2 weeks. And I try to answer every letter. So imagine what means in 10 days, 300 letters a day is 3,000 letters. You're giving me a vacation? He said that. That's a vacation? That just means when I come back in 2 weeks, I'm going to have 4,000 letters on this desk. I have no time. I can't take it. The Rebbe was focused. I don't know if we could do that.
Did you ever go to Israel?
That's not part of the 4 places. No, I'm telling you, his home to 770, to the mikveh, to the oil. 4 places.
What's the oil mean?
The oil is where his father was buried.
What?
The oil was his father buried. That's it. 4 places. It's not so far from each other. The furthest was the oil. That was the furthest place. It was in Queens, and he was in Crown Heights. So that's it. 4 places that a person can sit and realize that he has no place to go but to do his avodah and to do his purpose in life, and that's why he was an accomplished individual. He didn't have to do any place. He didn't have to have big. And you know what the place was? If you ever visited his office with the Rebbe stat, majority of his day, it's a little bigger than my office. It's not a very big place. It's okay. We're not such kind of people. We're not. We need vacations. We need relaxations. We need to have some. We need to go and stroll ourselves a little bit. And but there's got to be a limit. There's got to be a limit. Everybody has to decide how much is his limit of waste of time. Because he cannot bring it back. Because he cannot bring it back. He just cannot bring it back.
Wasting time, if you think you're wasting time, you really think of Hashem? Like you're going, well, I really should be doing this, but I'm thinking of Hashem. Is that?
100%. Try your best, my friend. Whatever it makes you happy. I have no problem. I have no problem. I waste my time also, trust me. We all waste our times. I tell you, I once went to a class at time management. You'll see how much time you waste. I flunked that class big time. What? No, the class was a great class. It showed me how much time I'm wasting in my life. Basically, it showed me how much time basically you're wasting. Take a piece, you can do it yourself. It's a very simple class. You take a piece of paper and then start writing down what you're doing every hour. It's a very simple way to do it. You're going to come out after a week embarrassed. So how much time basically is just doing nothing and wasting your time. So there's no such thing anybody over here could say, I have no time. It's not true. It's not true. It's a lie. It's a famous story of the Rabbi Adin Steinsaltz, the one who wrote he's a very famous guy in Israel. And I once heard him. It was in the Eretz. He said he once wrote to the Rebbe that he's taken upon himself too much. He's doing too much, and he doesn't feel like he can do all these projects. He has too many projects. He's a yeshiva in Russia, and he's writing books, and he's running a shul. It's too much. He's asking the Rebbe what to eliminate, which things he should drop. So he got an answer from the Rebbe. The Rebbe said, not only shouldn't you drop anything, you should actually add more. You should add more to the project, add another project, because you'll learn that you have enough time. You have enough time. Trust me. Add another project. So he said to himself, why did I listen to the Rebbe? I write the Rebbe a question to eliminate something, and he answers me, I should add to it. Anybody who would tell me that would say, hello, what are you telling me? She said, the reason why I listened to the Rebbe is because that's the way the Rebbe lived himself. And he never eliminated a concept, a project. He always had another project. He always said, let's do another concept. Let's add another project. Let's add another concept. That's the way he lived his life. So if the Rebbe can add projects and go from project to project, the Rebbe's right. And I can also add. And I'll see that I have time. So in essence, it's really the concept of a person being focused in his life, a little bit of focus in one's life, to be able to realize, first of all, that he's important. First of all, that he's living in time. It's something that we all have to realize. We're living in time, and time is precious. It's something that so even though we are spiritual and we're souls and we have the capability of great things and we can imagine things, many people had a great imagination, never invented the imagination. Somebody else invented it. Yeah. Somebody else took their imagination and made it into a pattern, right? Because you need to do that. You can have all the imagination in life, but if you don't make a pattern, if you don't bring it into a reality, then you have lost your time. You have lost a precious thing. And you need to bring that imagination into a reality. You need to do that. And that's why the Yiddishkeit is based on both concepts. It's based on the Torah, the aspect of Torah, which is knowledge, which is wisdom, which is unlimited, unending. It's chachma, it's wisdom, it's a concept of what is. And then there's a concept of the mitzvah, which brings it down to a reality, which takes the fantasy, the imagination, the wisdom, and brings it down into a very basic time and space concept. So you have both worlds, and we need both worlds, because we live in both worlds. We actually, each and every one of us lives in both worlds. We think that we're inevitable, and we're going to live forever, and it's not. And we think that that time is there's going to be tomorrow. That's why Hillel said, what his expression was, why if not now, when? You don't have the power of I'll do it tomorrow. You don't have that right. I don't have the right to say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Who said you're going to be here tomorrow? So how do you know, how can you say for sure that you're going to do it tomorrow? How can any human being say, I will do it tomorrow? You don't have the right. Only God can say you're going to do it tomorrow. You don't have the right. I don't have the right to say, okay, I will do it tomorrow. You're not going to be here tomorrow, maybe. So you better do it today. Do it today. And that's what he said. Don't do it. Most of us say, well, we can do tomorrow. Why do today? That's really what we say. You can do it tomorrow. Why do it today? Hillel said you don't have the right. As a human being, you don't have the right to say, I'm going to be here tomorrow. You don't have the right to say, I'm going to be here in 10 minutes. Forget about tomorrow.
You can't do everything today.
Everything can be done today. Try your best. Do everything today. Whatever you can do today. Trust me. You can, whatever you're doing, you can do more today.
I can't go to this class next week now.
No, because you might listen. Mashiach will come and we'll be in Edsel. There won't be a class. We'll be in the Beis Hamikdash. Maybe we'll make a Chabad class in Yerushalayim. We'll make a class. So let's go. Ready? Let's learn a little bit. Oy, we never get anywhere. So page 164, the right-hand column. The second paragraph. This is all introduction, an hour introduction. This is the concept of Hishtalshlus. I gave you a Kabbalistic word. Page 164. What? What do you say? I'm sorry.
It's a different word. Means like
His body is meditation. Hishtalshlus. Hishtalshelut. It's a long word. Hishtalshelush, which means downward gradation. Hishtalshlus. But it really comes, the root word is shalshela. A shalshela is a rope. It's a chain. Hishtalshlus is a chain effect. So hishtalshlus comes to the word like a shalshela, it's a chain. So you have the upper is connected to the lower, and the lower is connected to the next. A transformer. Yes, can be that concept, same concept. Of the worlds and their descent, degree by degree, to the multitude of garments, which screens the light and the life that emanates from him. So you like let's say you take a big light, and then you put a blue cover and a red cover and a green cover, and then you keep on going. Right? It changes the form of the light. The light never changed. Right? The light that was there never changed. You can't change the light. But you can change what the light portrays on the other side. That's what we call a garment. Right? So a human being puts garments. Right? We put a lot of garments on ourselves. Right? You never know the real person sometimes. Right? That's what the expression, you look in the mirror lately. But, we put on these garments, we put on this show that we portray ourselves, whether it's in any way. Well, that's the truth is, when I said at the beginning of the class, come with an open mind, it's really true, because we put on these garments. We come even to a class, or when somebody asks to do a fake, we put these walls up. Or we put these, I'm smarter, and we put it's fake stuff. It's not real. And we create these barriers, these separational barriers. And we think that we're protecting ourselves. We're using it as a protection officially. I don't know, whatever you want to use. We're using it as protection. I'm protecting myself. God forbid somebody should introduce me to something new. Somebody should enhance my life. Somebody should tell me a new concept like I need to, nobody has the right to do that. Right? And that's a very unwise individual. That's why it says you need to come to learn. You have to open your mind. You have to put everything aside. Put all your protections aside. Open your mind to knowledge. Whether you're going to accept it or not is something else. Nobody's taking away nobody's free choice over here. Nobody should thus accept any knowledge without understanding it on his own. We don't want you don't become a parakeet. We're not here tape recorders. We want the person to be a human being and to understand it And if he doesn't understand it, then he doesn't understand it. And he has to be honest. I don't understand it. Maybe I'll learn more. These concepts cannot be learned in one Sunday. Trust me, I've been learning it for many years. You need to learn it and learn it and learn it. In the Gemara, it says any aspect of knowledge needs to be learned at least 100 times. You cannot really comprehend a concept unless you learned it 100 times. How many of us learned at something more than 3 times? You need to really learn the concept 100 times. That's why nobody remembers anything. Because we don't learn it. We learn it 1 time, 2 times, and that's it. And we think we grasped it. We did not. That's why many times I hear some people say things in my name. Oh, Rabbi Bukiet said this. Rabbi Bukiet meant this. You don't know what you're talking about. I never said these things. Or you took it wrong. You took one soundbite and you created a whole speech. You gotta, when you learn something, you gotta learn it. You gotta comprehend it. You gotta internalize it. To each one's, as the Rebbe says, Chassidus doesn't want to change you. He wants to make that you should think the way. Don't change yourself. Everybody according to their own thought. Don't become somebody else, even in knowledge. Don't become somebody else. Be yourself. But be knowledgeable. Don't be ignorant. Ignorance is the worst thing. You need to open your mind. So we put these garments on. That's what, in essence, the Eibishter, God wanted that spirituality should be understood. He needed to create these garments to filter this wisdom. It needed to become, else nobody would understand it. You know, talking in tongues. We're talking in gibberish. Nobody understands what you're talking about. Oh, you're talking spirituality. Nobody understands what you're talking about. You know? So we have to believe that what you're talking about is great. But that's not what the Torah wants every person to become a chacham. A chacham, a wise man is not put aside for a few people. Everybody, men, women, all should be great knowledge. That's what Mashiach means. We're going to all have great knowledge. Great knowledge. Beautiful stuff. Until there was created this material and gross world, the lowest in degree, than which there is none lower the aspect concealment. What does it mean, this world? This world means that we don't see the light. It's very simple. We don't see the energy. We don't feel the energy. We don't feel the godliness in it. We might understand that there's a godliness in it. We might understand. We don't see it. As humans that is based in time and space, we like to see things. We like to feel things. We have 4 or 5 senses. We like to, imagine if you only learned about steak, but you never ate it. You want to eat it. I don't want to talk about it. I want to eat it. Give me a shtickle steak. Give me the food. Where's the beef? Where is the beef? I don't want to talk about it. I want to touch it. I want to feel it. I want to smell it. Right? We like to smell things. We like to taste things. We like to touch things. And that's a positive thing. Maybe God made us that way. How do we do the same thing when it comes to godliness? How do we touch it? How do we feel it? How do we taste it? We need to taste it. You need to have, and the truth is, you can see people, when people love knowledge. Some people love food. Some people love knowledge. Some people get excited by food. Some people get excited by knowledge. Some people get excited by music. Yes. Some people, okay, is music a food? You eat it, but you get excited by it. It enhances your life for some reason. Knowledge can be more tasty than food, which it should. Wisdom is going to be a food that will be there forever. Food is you eat breakfast, you eat lunch. You ate lunch, you need supper. And by supper, you're dreaming about the next day breakfast. You constantly need more food. So that shows you that it's not real enjoyment. You cannot live with the steak for a week. You need steak again. Right, right. So you need food. I'm not taking away from food. But the food should be there so you'll be able to have knowledge. Not the food should be there, for the enjoyment of food. You become, in many ways, a gluttonous. Become obese. You become obese. And it's not a good thing. Right? So you should enjoy food. God, trust me, you should enjoy food. My point is not that. It shouldn't be a miserable experience. But most of us don't have a miserable experience in food because we wouldn't eat it. So unless the doctor tells you, okay, now you got to eat this disgusting food because you ate like a vaseless for the last 50 years, like a slob. So now you're going to have to stop doing that. So now you're under doctor rule. Now you have no breda, you're eating raw, you're eating straw. And that's life. But the truth is you had the enjoyment in moderation. Maybe you would have enjoyment the rest of your life, but we cannot work with moderation for some. When it comes to food, we're all in. We're all in, baby. They're all in. We're all focused. We're all in on it. When it comes to knowledge, we're not all in. We're half in. We're not totally in. Because we don't get the delight. The Frierdiker Rebbe, the People's Rebbe once said that when you talk to a guy in business, he gets excited.
Yeah.
Talk to him his business, he gets excited, he gets animated. Business, he likes the conversation, the challenge, the intellect behind the business. Everybody's business is like a great wisdom. When you talk to them, tell the businessman, open a Gemara with them, they're falling asleep. They cannot do it. Why? The Gemara is also great knowledge. It's extremely great knowledge. But he has no desire in it. In business, he has a desire. It's giving him sometimes the delight. It's creating. The Gemara is like a forceful, okay, we got to learn some Talmud. Okay, come, I'll meet you on Monday night and we'll learn some Talmud. Whatever. But there's no delight in it. And you should have a delight because it's wisdom. We should have a delight in wisdom, my friends. I don't care what kind of wisdom. And show. I hope that we with the wisdom of Torah. But every human being should have a delight in wisdom. He should like wisdom like he likes food. I'm serious. And he should talk about wisdom like he talks about food. Right? He should be excited. He should show some passion. That's where you have intellect and emotion come together. When you have intellect that becomes passionate, that's a problem. So our intellect is cold. We turned intellect into a cold concept. And we turned emotional things into a passionate concept. No, we have to take the passion and bring it to the intellect. So have it be intellectually passionate. That's what we learned in yeshiva. Be intellectually, what would yeshiva teaches you? How to learn, be intellectually passionate. You walk into yeshiva, everybody's screaming. And they're arguing. They're passionate about their wisdom. They're passionate about it, not sitting there by the book and looking at each other. No, they're arguing. They're passionate about it. They're taking their passion and they're bringing excitement to their wisdom. And that's what you need to do, my friends. Or else it's dry, it's cold. And when it's cold, it's negative. You need to be warm, you need to be hot. You have to walk out of a class sweating. Not only me, you. You guys got to be sweating. Not only me, I'm sweating. You got to walk out sweating. I got to make you excited. You got to say the Shtaus. The Alter Rebbe, it says, and the Alter Rebbe, he couldn't end off the world Atzilus. When he started saying that, one of the Yom Yom, he says, when he started saying the world of emanation, he got so excited he couldn't end the word. He would say Atzi, and he got stuck. He would get so excited. The world of emanation, because he saw it, so he got excited. You imagine if you could get excited, you open up a Tanya, you open up a Gemara, you do a mitzvah, and you get excited in what you're doing. You pray with excitement. You do a good deed with excitement. You do it. You do your spouse's bidding with excitement. Imagine your wife asks you something, you run. You say, I can't wait. Thank you for asking me. I've been waiting a whole day for you to ask me that. You imagine? Absolutely. You imagine? Try it out one day. Absolutely. I'm telling you, it's going to change your life. Try it. Be passionate about even in a good deed. Somebody, pleasure, a pleasure. I'll do it 10 times for you. Imagine he did that. The Rebbe once said, a guy once wrote to the Rebbe, says, I'm struggling in my relationship, and I'm a religious guy, and the Rebbe answered him, if you're so frum, I give you something to be very frum in. You should be extremely frum. And what is that? To love your wife, be very frum. Be very religious. Be passionate about it. Show her love with passion. You're going to see that it's going to come back double folds. Don't just do it out of necessity. Oh, okay, what should I do? Well, I'm stuck with you, so now I gotta do what do I do? You know, that's what we live a life that way. Everything is a forceful situation. Enjoy it. Enjoy marriage. Enjoy it. Have a good time, right? Baruch Hashem, you stuck together, you might as well enjoy it. You might as well have a good time. God says the same thing. We're stuck together. You're a Jew. You can't choose it. We're stuck together. It's bashert. We might as well enjoy it. Why is everything miserable? Enjoy it. Run to shul, daven, open a chumash, learn. This is beautiful. Why are you guys catching a whole time? I'm not taking away from everything else. There's enough time. Enjoy food, enjoy life. I'm not asking you to be the Lubavitcher Rebbe to go to 4 places. I'm asking you, go on vacation, gesund to hate. Go to 8 places. Go every day, go. You're living in Boca. Hello, I gave you a beautiful place. I'm not, God forbid, taking away anything. But at least the things that I asked you to do and we do, enjoy it. Run to it. Have a Ratzal Var Mitzvah, run to it. Let it not be a painful experience. It's a painful experience. Everything is not that way. You have to, since I'm the Eibishter in essence. So God in essence, so how can we not enjoy it if God wouldn't have brought this thing down so that we could enjoy it? It's a chesed. It's a great kindness that God brought a concept down that we should enjoy it. That it is a wisdom that we could enjoy. The Torah is an unbelievable wisdom that we could enjoy. Not only that we are forced to do this, do that. We're taking the Torah in a negative way. Most Jews take the Torah in a negative way. Do this, don't do that. Nobody wants that. The Torah said this is the wisdom and understanding. I've given you a wisdom. I've given you an unbelievable wisdom. Enjoy it. Nobody has this wisdom. I've given it to you. Learn it. Enjoy it. Argue about it. Struggle with it. Fight about it. No, let's fight about wisdom. If the one thing you should leave this class is when you go home with your husband, fight about wisdom, not about anything else. Fight about wisdom. That should be the fight, not anything else. Don't fight about everything. All the other things are no good. This is what you should fight about. Fight in godliness, fight in wisdom, fight in Torah. Learn together so you can have something good to fight about, to argue about. This is the best thing to do. This is the best thing to argue in. You shouldn't just take this on face value because then it doesn't integrate into you. If you're just taking it, it's going to swim, it will just pass by you. The only way it becomes part of you and me, because I worked on this. I argued on it. I struggled with it. Ultimately, it resonated with me. It cannot resonate with me if I'm not going to work on it. It's a wisdom that's above my understanding. It's a godly concept. How can it just resonate with me? It doesn't. It clashes with me. The only way that it becomes part of me is that we both rub each other. We both work on it. Myself and the wisdom, I work on it, and I struggle with it, and I rip it apart, and I comprehend it, I argue with it, I understand a little bit, I understand more. Slowly, it resonates with me. I comprehend it. I can explain it. I can try to even portray it, which would be even better. And I realize I'm still far from the reality of because I can't show it. I would love to show it to you, which is difficult. It's not a show and tell class. It's impossible to show it. Because you know why? If you showed it, you would put it in the box. And you can't take this wisdom and put it in a box. You cannot show it. It's too high to show. Even Moshe Rabbeinu asked God, I want to see your face. I want you to show yourself. Show yourself. God said, that's not possible. You know, that's not possible. It's impossible. You can't. So remember, which is the concept of the back. You can see what the outcome is. You cannot see the reality. You can't see the future. It's not possible. It's a beautiful concept. We all with the Veismir. So let's try to end the paragraph. Yeah. So then, in which the none lower in the aspect of concealment of his life, blessed be he, the world doubled and redoubled darkness. So this is a world of darkness in the Kabbalah. This is called the world of darkness, not in a negative sense, in a positive sense. This is a world of darkness because God, so to say, hid himself in this darkness, but not that God is not there, because God wanted that each and every one of us would bring light to this darkness, would reveal something in this darkness. And that's the truth of the world. The truth is not only it says that you find the ultimate essence of everlasting, of nitzchias, unlimitation and everlasting is in the earth. The earth is everlasting, continues to give forth things. If humans plant and humans develop it, it will constantly give. It needs to be revealed. And so too, God wanted in our lives. If God would reveal everything, so what do you need? What would be our purpose? Everything is revealed. God wants to know. I'm going to hide myself in different concepts so that every person will have a partnership in revelation of this concept. It's a beautiful thing. So double and redouble so much so as it's full of klippus and sitracha, which actually oppose God. So that's why we ultimately come to the lowest level. What is the lowest level? That the creation can say, I'm the creator. That is when we have gone to the lowest of the lowest. So you have the concept of I am, and there is nothing else besides me, right? And that's the problem. When we become so an entity that we can oppose God. Pare, that's the expression of Pharaoh. Pharaoh said, Li Erev Ani Assassini. I have the Nile and I made it. So the Nile, which is gives the sustenance to Egypt, that's why he considered himself a god. And all these pharaohs and all these kings ultimately considered themselves a god. That not only that they were there to help the people, they became the god of the people. The truth is, we all become a little bit of God, self-God, right? We know what is right, but we say, listen, don't tell me what to do. I'm my own boss. I'll decide what to do and what not to do. The verse says, it's the first, the ox knows its owner, the donkey knows its trough, but a human being kicks his creator, and that's our free choice in essence. God gave us. We're not animals, Baruch Hashem. So we're not a cow, thank God, and we're not a donkey. We're a human being, and we have the capability to rebel against our Creator. We have that capacity, and we sometimes do it. We rebel against our Creator. That's our free choice, and as long as we pick ourselves up again. As long as we rebound and we so to say come back to our senses, it's not the end of the world. And we just touched the tip of the iceberg. The Alter Rebbe is going to continue. It's really beautiful chapter. It's chapter 36. Might take us a little time to finish this chapter. It's actually a long chapter. But my friends, who is in a rush? Who is in a rush? We have all the time in the world. We'll see you all next week, Bezat Hashem. All healthy and well. Because we surely will all be here, Mitchem, next week. Bezat Hashem.